Hey, what's up, everybody? Dave at Draftbit, and we've reintroduced themes. So I'm going to take you for a tour of themes and show you what's new, how to use them, and let's check it out. So on the left bar here, I've got an option for styles and colors. So if I open that up, there's a new tab here for themes. So at the top, we've got your themes. So these will be any themes that you've configured for your app, and your app can have any number of themes that you want. And then below that, we've got a theme gallery of a bunch of pre-designed themes that you can also choose from. So you can start, every app will have a theme by default that you can start customizing. You can rename it and everything like that, but you can also create new blank themes. You can also duplicate your existing themes, and you can pull in any of these theme gallery themes as well to add them. And then once they're added to your project themes, you can customize them as far as you want. So from this view, you can actually click on these different themes and get a preview over here on the side of what your app will look like. My app is already using app themes to style these components. So because of that, as I switch these different themes, you can see how the colors are applied for each one. All right, so I'm gonna come back over here, switch back to one of my purple themes, and I'm gonna jump into this theme here, clicking on the edit button. All right, the first tab we've got here is all the light colors. So whenever the device is using light mode and your app is using any of these light colors from the theme, that's what will be applied to the UI. And so for each of these, we've got brand colors, we've got typography colors, background colors, foreground colors, and background colors. And for each one, there's several different named colors for each group. And inside, or for each of these colors, you're able to choose from your any custom palettes that you've created. So in this app, there are two custom palettes, this brand fire and a brand palette. And then all of the base palettes are also available. So any of these colors you're free to use. If you've configured a base palette or custom palettes, you can use those. Or in like my case, I've just picked a bunch of values from the base palettes. So once you have these set up, then you can take a look at dark colors. You'll notice here that a lot of these actually aren't set, and that's intentional. The dark mode colors will inherit from the light mode. So any colors here that I don't have assigned for dark mode specifically will apply these colors from the light mode. So for example, the brand colors, all my brand colors, those aren't going to change for dark mode. So these are all empty, and it'll just use these by default. But you can see I have overridden the typography colors and the background colors specifically. So you can see for light mode, my typography colors are dark and my background colors are lighter. And then for dark mode, it's switched up, right? So I've got my lighter typography on top of my darker backgrounds. And of course, as you change these colors, the colors in your preview over here will change as well. And you have access to any of your screens. So if you want to switch over to a different screen and see how that screen looks with your newly applied colors, you can do that as well. So you can see here's another screen. Okay, so light mode or light colors, dark colors, and then we've got typography. And so we've got about a dozen named styles here. And for each one, you can set a font family, a weight, size, line height, and spacing. All of the hundreds of Google fonts are available here in the font family dropdown. So lots of options there. And then depending on which font family you select, they'll have their own set of available weights. And then, of course, you can set size and all that. And then over here on the right, you can see a preview. So if I change any of these, I'll get an instant preview over here on the side showing me what that's going to look like. And then for settings, it's just pretty simple. You can change the name and you can also set it as the default theme for your app. Okay, so once you've got your theme configured and your colors set up and everything the way you like it, we can close out this and take a look at how we use the colors. So I'm going to go back to my home screen and I can show you. So I've got this little price tag here up at the top, and that's this little view right here. I can switch over to design mode. You can see it. And it's got these two little text inside. So the view has a background color. And if I open this up, you can see that it is using my brand theme color, the primary brand theme color. And all my other theme colors are available here too. So here's those typography theme colors, background theme colors, foreground, border. And then of course, I still have access to all my custom palettes and the base palettes as well. So tons and tons of color options. But if you're going for the theme and you want to be able to change colors based on the theme selection, you want to make sure that you are using brand colors for those. So like I said, in this case, I'm using my brand primary for these little icons down here. In the card, I'm using the brand accent color. All right, so I'm going to switch back to web view. And so we can see these colors applied. And now at the top, you'll notice there's this new switcher, and this lets me switch between all of my app's themes. So if I click here, here's those two themes that you saw that I have configured for my app, reddish and purplish. And so if I click here and switch to my reddish theme, now I'm previewing my app completely with this reddish theme. And then again, if I go back, I can switch to purple. And if you'll notice on the right here, I've still got that icon selected. And so as I switch my theme, this accent color is actually going to change, right? Because for each theme, that accent color is different. So using that one color for this component, switching the theme switches the color of the component. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so the next thing we need to be able to do is see what our app looks like in dark mode. And we can shift down over here to this option in the top bar, and that lets me switch the selected theme to dark mode. So we're in purplish theme and dark mode. And so I can see my app now here with dark mode. Move around, I can switch over to reddish, see how it looks with the reddish theme in dark mode. Switch around. Okay, so that's looking good. And then finally, what we can do is, if I switch over to the profile screen, you can see there's a section here for theme. And if I click on these, you can see that has actually changed the theme within the app. So if you want to give your users control over which theme the app is using, we've got a new action that lets you do that. So on my profile screen, I'll come down here to one of these icon buttons, switch over to interactions, and on press, we've got this new action to change the theme. So I've got this change theme action. For this one, I can set the theme. I've got it set to reddish. And then there's another option here to persist. So this is optional. But if you want, when the user switches to a different theme in their app, if you want that change to persist across app restarts, like the user has the app open, they choose a theme, and then they close your app. The next time they open the app, if you want it to use that same theme that they chose, you'll want to enable persistent. Other than that, otherwise, just leave that as is, and it will switch the theme for the current session. But then the next time that they open the app, it will go back to whatever theme you designated as the default theme in your app. Okay, so I guess that pretty much wraps it up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I missed. One thing to note is on the dark and light mode as you're building in Draftbit, the like if you're using the live preview app on your actual physical device, you'll still need to use this dark mode and light mode switcher to switch between dark and light mode as you're previewing. But other than that, I think I have covered everything high level. There is some new info in the docs, and there's some um, deeper explanation on some of these colors and their uses. But really, you're free to use them however you want. So um, just keep in mind any colors that you want to change in your app whenever the theme changes, you want to make sure that you're using a theme color for that component in your app. So you don't have to use the theme colors for everything, but anything where you want the style to change. So for instance, for the screen background, I'm using my base background color, right? And so for each theme, well, actually for each theme, yes, but also for dark and light mode, you can have different colors for that base, right? So as I switch to dark mode, you can see that base changes. So that's, I think, probably the most important thing to remember with themes is once you configure them, in order to take full use of them, you need to make sure that you're using those theme colors in your app UI. So anyway, that's a quick look at themes. Let us know what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.